Hello everyone, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about something called the emptiness lines. These are important, but most people do not have to worry about these. Now, there are certain directions that are considered either null and void by certain authors, and sometimes they're called emptiness lines. It depends on who you listen to, what they call them. Now, these are discussed in Chapter 2 of Shun Kong Dagua, Not Exactly for Dummies, and I've referred to this book several times. And on pages 76 through 78, they actually show this in compass form, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to list it. But this will help you understand what it really looks like. Now, there are other directions that can be issues for your house, not just these emptiness lines. If you are too close to the dividing line between subsectors 2 and 3 of any given direction, this can be a problem. And also if you're too close to the dividing line between an ordinal and a cardinal direction. And this actually also happens to be covered by the lesser emptiness lines, but these are a problem for a different reason than these. These are a problem because if you're too close, there's some uncertainty about which flying star chart to use, and also there's uncertainty about the purple-white chart too. So this makes this, if your house is not clear what direction it faces, you don't have these two charts. And that really limits what you can do with Feng Shui. Now, if your residence happens to face one of these emptiness lines, you're not going to receive very much qi, if any qi. Now, sometimes this can work to your advantage. If you happen to have basically a crappy chart or one that you cannot activate in any form, any special formations, then you actually don't have any activation of the bad things either, unless you do something to activate that location, but still you need qi. So you can actually be okay with this. What you have to rely on then to succeed in life is your own energy, your own drive, and you can still make it. You just don't get any boost from Feng Shui. But if you don't receive any energy, you also don't get any harm. So sometimes this works. Now, there are 3 types of emptiness lines. One is at the center of each cardinal and ordinal direction. These are called the greater emptiness lines. There's ones between the cardinal and ordinal directions, which are called the lesser emptiness lines. And there are one between yin and yang sectors, which are quite narrow, and these are called the yin-yang uncertainty lines. The most serious type is the greater emptiness lines. If you're facing one of these, and in this case, facing and sitting is the same thing because they're always diametrically opposed on the compass. So if you're facing one of these, you don't receive qi. The least serious is the ones between the yin and yang uncertainty lines. Now, if you have a water body that crosses like one of these lines or these lines or this line too, some practitioners consider this weakened, but even if it's weakened, it's still good. Now, I do want to make clear that this is waters like lakes or ponds. Rivers do not count. For rivers, you use Sanhe methods, not San Yuan methods, and this is a San Yuan method. Now, some cities are more likely to have an issue with the greater emptiness lines, and that's because some places lay out most of the roads in the east-west, north-south grid. Makes it easier, I guess, to plan the city, but this can result in roads that face one of the cardinal directions, and this is for UTM because when it's laid out this way, they almost always use UTM. You still need to correct UTM to true north, so this often will kick you out of a problem. So if your roads happen to follow a river or a lake shore, This can also be a problem because that means that part of the curve of the road, there will be houses that are going to face either one of the cardinal directions or one of the ordinal directions, and even right at the center, or even the yin and yang, which are really easy to face because there's so many of them. Now, in general, you still have to correct for UTM to true north. So this can help. And you really only have to worry about the third digit. So if you are off by 0.001 degrees from one of these emptiness lines, you're still okay. And to be that accurate, you pretty much need a survey. You might be able to get the information you need from a satellite. Depends on exactly what direction your house is facing. It's a little bit iffy because depending on how clear the satellite image is to see the actual edge of your house. But if it's the yin and yang uncertainty lines, don't be too worried about it. If it's the greater emptiness lines, then that's something to be worried about if you actually have a really good chart, because then you don't receive any of the energy. And there's not much you can do except rotate your house that is lifted and rotated if you have a good chart and you are in one of the emptiness lines. So it's much easier to move. So here are the greater emptiness lines. They are at the center of each cardinal and ordinal direction. And I give them to 3 digits because that's what you have to worry about. And if you want to see them in compass form, these pages of that book I talked about earlier will show them. These are the lesser emptiness lines, which are between south and southwest, southwest and west, and so forth. And again, 2, 3 digits. And these are the many yin-yang uncertainty lines. And these are, they actually are worrying about 2, 3 digits. And again, this gets a little bit hard to do by satellite, but in a survey, no problem. It's actually very easy to do. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me here if you have any questions or visit my ad-free website. And if you subscribe, I do have some monthly videos as well as some new videos on general subjects from time to time. Thank you again for watching.